Okay, so let's look at number 15, the milk problem. So, no, sorry, that's not that yet. Okay, so you have a massage, 6% tax, 20% tip, and you spend that. Okay, so in real life, you know your massage is going to be whatever, $60, whatever it is. And then in real life, if you knew what it was, you'd multiply by 6%. And we're going to tip on the tax too, which, in real life we don't always do, but it makes the math a little easier. All right, so in real life, I'd buy my massage. I would multiply by 1.06 to get the cost with tax, and then I'd multiply that by 1.2 to figure out what kind of tip I should leave. But I do know what I left was $82.68, and I just want to go back and figure out what I actually paid for the massage. So you can do this a couple ways. One way is to undo it backwards, so divide by 1.20 to get rid of your tip, and then get that answer and divide whatever that answer is, and divide that answer by 1.06 to get rid of the tax. And so if you divide twice, you should get that your massage was, what, $65? So that's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it, instead of undoing the math twice there, is to go ahead and multiply these. You can't add percents. Remember, 20%, 6% does not make 26% because it's a percent on a percent. So, but I could multiply and get that it's really 27.2%. So just multiply those. Equals what? The 82.68. And then you've already combined those by multiplying, so then you only have to divide once. That would work too. And then you would get that the massage was, again, $65. Okay. So again, sometimes in life you have to do math backwards because you can't remember what you spent or you can't remember what you did, something like that. Okay, go ahead and do number 16. Fill in the chart, do B, C, and D, and E, this whole page. So go ahead and graph it the whole bit. Okay, so if you can figure out how to fill in the chart, you can write the equation. So let's look at the Kindle. The Kindle is, what, $150? Starting cost, and then it's $15 per ebook. So you keep adding 15 all the time. So, and again, you can use a calculator if you want. Hopefully I don't mess up. If I do, you can let me know. Okay. And so to write an equation, it's linear because you're adding 15 all the time. So your slope is what you're adding all the time. And I'm going to use, you can use X or B for books. And then your one-time cost is actually buying the Kindle. So you have your starting amount plus your slope is right here, $15. That's your rate per book. And again, if you just want to write MX plus B, that's fine. This is your starting amount. There's your slope. All right. Then the next one is the Nook is, I'll switch colors here. So the Nook is $180, but say their books are a little cheaper. So it looks like they're going up by 10 all the time. Right, and I did extend my chart a little bit beyond because I wanted to see the break-even point in the chart as well. All right, so my equation, so this is the Kindle. So let me label this as the Kindle. All right, and let's see, I'm going to use a blue here. Okay, so then for the Nook, Y equals, so the ongoing cost is the books, which are, say, $10 here, and the starting amount was a little more expensive, so $180. And again, if you just want to use X's, that's fine. Just know you have a starting amount and a slope, and your slope is always your rate. All right, so then D says find the break-even point using algebra and the graph here. We can also see it in the chart too, by the way. So right here is your break-even point. If you buy 6 ebooks, the Kindle is going to cost you $240, and so is the Nook. So I know my answer. I know the break-even point is going to be 6 books, and the cost at the break-even point is going to be $240. But let's go ahead and try it with algebra and by graphing. So I'm going to get a clean sheet. So if you haven't done that yourself yet, why don't you do that? Okay, so to find the break-even point, we're trying to figure out when is the cost of the Kindle going to equal the cost of the Nook. And that's when we're break even. So what I did is I set my two equations equal to each other. So I have my Kindle equation equal to my Nook equation. And I want to know when do they balance out. So I'm going to bring my X's to this side because I like to keep them positive. So I see there's 10 over here and 15. I kind of like to keep them positive. And I'm going to bring my numbers to this side. And again, when you have adding on both sides, you're going to add twice. So to get rid of positive 10x, I need a negative 10x on both sides. Because again, I want my numbers on one side, variables on the other. So I can figure out, it's just easier to see what each variable is. So now I'm not done. See how they're still adding or subtracting. So you're still doing order of op backwards. So to get rid of adding 150, you subtract it from both sides. So you get 5x equals, what is that, 30? Okay, finally, I've added or subtracted twice, so I'm done with order of op, add and subtract. So now I'm at the multiply or divide stage. So to get rid of multiplying by 5, I'm going to divide by 5. So x is 6. So that's my 6 ebooks. And again, my pen's been having issues today, so I don't know if it's because I'm far enough down or what. But so that many ebooks, I should be good. All right, I'm going to try and fix this. So I'm going to try and pause here. Okay, let me try to get a new screen open here. Okay, we'll see if we can make this work. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make an XY axis, and we'll graph this. Okay, so you should already have that chart from before. So I'm going to do the Kindle in red. So at 0, you're at 150. So these are each worth 20s here. So I don't know why that graph, but oh boy, that's not good. Technology is not my friend today. All right, so these are each 20. So 150 would be about right there. All right, at 165, I'm going to skip that one. 2 would be 180. 3 is 195, 210, and let's see, 6 is at 240. So you could graph all the points. I'm just picking kind of 3 easier ones to graph, but the other ones are on there. All right, so this is what the Kindle. All right, and then I use blue for the Nook. So Nook started out at what, 180? So that would be here if they're each worth 20, because 20, 40, 60, and so forth. Oh boy, that's not good. It's graphing all those dots. Ah, should have left good enough alone, huh? All right. All right, so I have that one, and I'm trying to not touch too much. Let's see, at 2, it was at 200. So I'll do that one. 4 was at 220. That's one's not too bad. And then 6 is right here. And then I could keep going at 8. And again, this should be a straight line. If I had graph paper, it would be a straight line. So that's my, Nook. Okay, so you can see the break-even point right here. And it's at 6, and it's at 240 over here. So 240, that's your point. So that means at 6 ebooks, it's going to cost, both of them are going to cost $240. It's not going to matter which one. The red one, the Kindle, is cheaper to begin with, under 6 books, and then more expensive after. The Nook is more expensive at first, and then if you buy more than 6 ebooks, the Nook is going to be cheaper. So that would be your answer to letter E. If you buy less than 6 ebooks, I would go with the Kindle. And if you buy more than 6 ebooks, I would go with the Nook. And if you're going to buy exactly 6, it really doesn't matter. You can pick either company to go with, and you should be fine. All right, go ahead and do the last page, and we'll go over that next, and hopefully we quit having some pen issues. Okay, I tried tilting the screen here. We'll see if that helps. Who knows? Okay, so this one means you have 2 sets of this factor. So you have 15x cubed times 15x cubed. And again, when you multiply, things change. So I get 225. Numbers are normal. 15 times 15, or 15 squared, is that. And I have 2 sets of x to the third. So that would be x is 6. And again, powers change. Divide like normal. Numbers are normal. 3 goes in there too. And then we're canceling. So I would have 5 x's left. And again, if you need to write them out, you can write 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can see that those are all going to cancel out. There's going to be 5 left. Here, this is cats and dogs. We're not multiplying or dividing to create something new. We're just adding. So cats and cats make more cats. So squares and squares make more squared. So I get 40x squared. Here, I'm multiplying. So again, this just means this times 4 of those. So again, I'm just counting. Numbers are normal, negative 35. And then how many x's do I have? 7. Okay. So again, if you multiply this out, if you write it twice, then you're just adding exponents because you're just counting. Where here it's multiplying to begin with, so you're just counting. Here we have multiplying. Okay. All right, so the next one here, we got cut off again. I'm apologizing because my pens are terrible today. All right, so the last one we have x plus 3, x minus 8. So we have multiplying and addition. So make the box because you need to do both. So multiply x times x. 3 is positive 3x. X in that is a negative 8x. And 3 in that is a negative 24. And then again, usually if these are like terms, they will line up. So I have x squared. This gives me a negative 5x and then minus 24. And I'm done. All right, let's go ahead and look at the milk one. Now, I thought we were starting with the milk problem, but we're actually ending with the milk problem. So, all right, so the milk problem is you have a starting amount, and it's going up by 1%. So you have a starting amount, a multiplier, which is 103%, because it's all of it, plus inflation is making it go up by 3%, and then your exponent's up here. So how much is it going to be worth in 5 years? So you could keep multiplying and adding, all that good stuff, or just use your formula. That's why we make them. And so we get, what, $3.35. The next question says, okay, when is the output going to be, how much money is it? When is it going to be $3.66? You could do logs if you knew how to do them, but if not, which we didn't go over them in this class, so just guess. Obviously, 5's not big enough because you got that. So then just guess, you know, x equals 6. Type it in your calculator. X equals 7. X equals 8. And 8 is actually going to give you that. Might be rounded, but still, x is equal to 8 is going to work. So just guess and test until it gives you this output. All right, the next one says currently milk is $2.89, but now it's going up by 20 cents. So now it's linear. It's not going up by percent. So you have a starting amount. It's going up by 20 cents every, what, year? And again, you could write it in y equals mx plus b order, which would be that. All right, and then it says, okay, so what will be worth in 5 years? So same as before, except it's not exponential. So your input is 5. So do order of operations, and you should get an output of, what, $3.89? Is that right? Okay, and then when is it going to cost $4.29? Now, this you don't have to guess and test because actually linear are, we can solve these without logs. So I'm just going to cross that off. Equals, what was the output here? When is it going to cost $4.29? All right, I'm going to just reset. So you can just solve this. So x's on one side, numbers on the other. So that's just nothing. I only have to add or subtract 1, so I'm going to bring my numbers over because my x's are already together. And so when I subtract, I get, what, 1.4? All right, and then I divide because I'm done with adding. And so I get about 7 years. So I get x equals 7 years when that's going to happen. All right, go ahead and do number 20, and I'll be right back. Okay, this one I want to solve for a, so I'm going to get rid of adding and subtracting first because, again, we're doing order of operation backwards. The only thing is these won't be able to do anything. You can't add or subtract them. Now I still want to solve for a, so now I'm at the division step of life, so just divide by 2. So a is w minus bx over 2. You could divide them separately if you want. Next one, solve for r. So order of op backwards, I want to get rid of multiplying first. So I a over pi equals r squared. And then to get rid of square root, I would square root all of it. So I get the square root of a over pi, all of it's in the square, equals the square root of square root. Those cancel, so you just get an r. Okay, and you can write the other order if you'd like. This one, if you weren't sure what I meant by divide each piece, is you could, when you divide, you could divide this by 2 and this by 2. So another answer would be, what, w over 2 minus bx over 2. That would be an acceptable answer as well. We talked about kind of that heart thing before, how you could divide this and put a minus in between. All right, that's the end of this review. So sorry about all the issues with the pens. Was not fun, but when you're making 4 videos, I can't always start over from the beginning and just have to deal with technology issues as they go. So good luck, study hard, and if you need help, let me know.